evening, ladies and gentlemen. Since you all have been so kind as to grace this performance, let me tell you something about the play. But first, have you all settled comfortably in your seats? Have you all turned off your electronic devices so that they don't disturb the actors or me? I see some light on in there. Good. Thank you. Now, about the play. In Sanskrit, this type of play is called a prahasana. In English, it is known as a farce.
Hey, hey, hey! Who asked you to come out here and start the show?
Well, just what have I done wrong, pray tell?
For one thing, I am the stage manager, and it is my job to introduce the audience to the play.
Well then, go on, perform all your duties.
Are you implying that I might be neglecting my duties?
Let's see. Have you offered prayers honoring the gods? Have you seen if the musical instruments are in their proper places and that the musicians have correctly tuned them? Have you acquainted the onlookers with the author and the title of the play?
Onlookers? Onlookers? You mean the audience?
Onlookers, audience? What's the difference?
Just what are you driving at?
See, you taught me that in Sanskrit plays, the term used for people who have come to attend a performance suggests that they have come to see a play, not to listen to it. Prikshaka, not Shrota.
Hold on. Before you go any further, this play is not being performed in Sanskrit.
Oh, what then? In English? A Sanskrit play being performed in English? American English? Or better still, English?
Yes, yes. So what's your point?
See, you always said that before we begin, we should always explain all of the technicalities being used in the play. For example, the use of stylized gestures such as flower, garden, snake, peacock, etc., etc.
You think you're cleverer than the learned author King Mahendra Vikrama?
Wait a minute, just yesterday you said that the author was Bodhayan.
Well, now the scholars have decided that the South Indian King Mahendra Vikrama wrote the play.
So is the authorship finally decided?
Well, more or less.
So if King Mahendra Vikrama wrote the play, that means it was composed in the 7th century and not in the 2nd century?
Exactly. And King Mahendra Vikrama has started the play with me, the stage manager, not with you, his wife. So please remove yourself so the play may begin.
Why? You always said that no Sanskrit play can start without
Now I begin to understand. I understand.
What do you understand?
That a wife is always a headache to her husband, and therefore...
Therefore what?
The character Ramalika engaged a charming lady to keep him entertained.
A lady?
A woman over and above his wife.
Oh.
Now be off with you.
Chandelier! Chandelier! Where are you? Where have you gone to? Persons surrounded by darkness of ignorance always behave like him. They can find nothing, neither their self nor the truth. He is strong and handsome and has naturally become proud of his human birth. But he does not realize this body is a storehouse of diseases. Every moment passion devours it, and old age and death conspire to destroy it. Chandelier! Chandelier! Perhaps he's searching for something to eat.
How long have I had to listen to my master's sermons? An empty stomach makes the mind dull. I was born into a poor family. We survived on remains of food offered to crows at the death anniversary ceremony. There was no constant supply of food in our household. I came upon the mendicant you heard calling my name just now. He asked me to help him carry his belongings. Now I have become nothing more than an ass. a beast of burden, conveying vessels, books, slippers, rubbish like that. He calls me his disciple, but I'm nothing but his servant.
Chandelier! Chandelier!
Oh, there you are, master. I was looking for something to eat.
You're always talking about food, but never about your studies, your meditation, your gathering knowledge.
Like the sun appearing in the sky every day. You keep telling me the same old thing, but never how to find food. How can we survive without something to eat?
Chandelier!
Why don't we go to town and beg for something to eat?
We can't. There is a certain code for begging. We must not approach the good gentry before midday.
When you accepted me as your pupil, you promised to provide me with a good meal.
Just wait 2 or 3 hours.
Until then,
Sit down and meditate. Do you remember anything that I taught you?
just this much, that a man should always do good deeds. If he does good deeds, he may get a reward.
To an extent, you are correct.
I did a good deed becoming your pupil, yet I have been starving for the last 3 days. Now go ahead and teach me something more.
All right. Be not highly elated in joy. Be not miserable in grief.
Instead, suppose I try to become miserable in joy and extremely happy in grief.
That isn't possible.
Oh, once I remember, you told me that by exercising my willpower, I can achieve anything.
True. But you have never controlled your will, which is like a bee. Or like a monkey. Keeps on hopping from one thing to another.
In short, it is fickle.
Yes, fickle. At least you remember that much. You have a confused mind. It needs to be controlled, regulated. But you don't listen.
All right, I'm ready.
Try to control your mind. A real saint should never get angry.
Aha, that sounds quite interesting.
Do you doubt it?
You yourself have resorted to anger. You lose your temper whenever I'm concerned.
That is perfectly all right, according to the sacred text. They say, when a pupil does not concentrate his attention or studies, he may be rebuked and may be even beaten. But when I beat you, I do not lose my temper. I do it with perfect control, often with love, all for your own good.
Aha, you can beat somebody without being angry. Angry without anger?
Yes, it could be. There are many things beyond your understanding. Now, let's go to the garden and take a little nap.
Nap? That is trying to be comfortable. So once again, you are in the wrong.
In what way?
Comfort or discomfort, both mean the same thing to your holiness.
You don't understand. My soul does not differentiate between comfort and discomfort. But my body demands comfort at this moment.
So soul and body have different functions?
Certainly,
How do you define them?
soul can move all over the universe. For example, in dreams, it can traverse unlimited regions. But body enjoys food, pleasure, joy, and pains, and so forth.
Now I get it.
Now, should we go to the garden?
Yes, let's do. Here we are at the gates of the garden. Should we enter?
Yes, let us enter.
What a beautiful garden! Lovely trees. This is champa. This is kadam. What a variety of flowers. And what fragrance. This is certainly the spring, the best of all the seasons. There is a peacock. And a cuckoo. Bees hum enchanting tunes. Though so wonderfully fine, it is capable of making lonely women miserable.
Remember, if it's spring today, later on there will be another season. And the cycle will keep on changing. What seems beautiful today will ultimately perish tomorrow.
If a thing is beautiful, we should not declare that is beautiful.
Don't you realize everything is transitory?
Okay. Can I sit down and rest a while?
Yes, you may. Sit down and start acquiring knowledge.
But what are the advantages of acquiring knowledge?
Many. Knowledge explains everything about everything. Having known all that, you become detached. Detachment enables to perform penance. By performing penance, you become a yogi. And once you become a yogi, you know all about the past, the present, and the future.
A slightly longer process. Now that you are a yogi, can you see into somebody else's house without being seen?
Why?
To find out if there is something delicious to eat. I'm starved.
Greed! It's a curse of life. You should know that by now.
Yes, you told me, stating that it keeps on increasing. The more I eat, the better for my health.
I promise you everything. Food, better health, everything. But all can be secured if you start practicing meditation. Just sit down and start meditating. Your body will be perfect and mind steady. Concentrate.
Well, on what object do I concentrate?
On the light that is within you.
Very good. You concentrate on your light. I will concentrate on a bowl of rice.
Silence! Do as I do. Observe me. Direct all your senses towards your soul. Think yourself as part of the universe. Discard all desires, and you will achieve joy, indescribable peace. Oh.
Here we are in the garden. Spring is in full bloom. But where is my darling Lord Ramalika?
He told me he will first go to the city center
How can one concentrate? If my ears have cared to listen to it, why should not the eye benefit? Aha! Two young ladies! The garden and the girls and some play. A cake with butter and honey. Master, do you hear what I hear?
If your ears may prefer to listen, they may. My mind is somewhere else.
Then ask your mind to attend to your ears.
Don't be stupid. Concentrate on your own meditation.
Yogis never resort to anger. You should not.
Quiet. Quiet. I'm not going to listen to you or to anything.
Lovely dog. When will Ramalika come?
Oh, very soon. Very soon. I am sure he too must be equally anxious to meet my Honorable Lady Vasanti.
Vasanti? The well-known courtesan of the city? How fortunate are the rich. Fancy, I got a chance to see her in the garden.
Listen! This is the part of the city where we have to operate according to the god of death. This is a list of mortals to be summoned today. Be tactful, slow, and do not be unkind. Collect their souls the moment their time is up, and present them to me. What have we here? Some beautiful woman in the garden. Who is that woman?
Oh, her name is Vasanti.
Oh, how did you know her name was Vasanti?
Huh? As you know, we do not remember anything after that. But this much I remember. I used to be her neighbor in my mortal life. I loved her so much that when she refused my request, I committed suicide.
Ah, I remember. You made my task easy. Well, I appoint you to take her life. You may take the form of a serpent and fight her, and satisfy her unfulfilled desire.
Thank you, thank you so much. I shall enjoy doing so.
Well, I must be on my way. Proceed with your task.
The flowers are so beautiful. Let's select a few.
They're starting to select flowers. Let me watch them. What a feast for the eyes. Master, you don't know what you're missing. What a beauty. Eyes like lotus petals. Head
money and calculates in terms of wealth and wealth alone.
Go your own way. I can't resist her. I will return to her. I go.
Chandelier, you dare not go near her. Come back.
You dare not resort to anger. You are a yogi. I am with her.
Now what have you decided after your learned discussions?
Love?
Love? Ah, me? Yes. Yogis love everybody alike, I know.
May I touch her again, lady?
You? A yogi like you, certainly. Who knows? It might help gain her salvation.
Oh, Vasanti. How beautiful you are.
That is her foot. Why touch her foot and not her head?
Oh, I have lost my senses. I cannot even make out what is hand and what is foot. Oh God, what a shame I could not possess her when she was alive.
I must go and fetch somebody. Revered sir, would you be kind enough to look after her? I will go and fetch her mother.
Do be off quickly. I am the mother of all who are motherless.
How kind and considerate you are.
And now I can weep, pour out my sorrow, and do what I like. Oh, you moon-faced one, lotus-like, delicate as ether, slender as a stem. Oh, Vasanti, the most charming one.
Chandelier, you're disturbing me in my meditation.
Here lies the leading meditation, the source of inspiration. It's very incarnation.
Chandelier, come back here and continue your meditation.
You stay away from her. You had turned me into a stone, fooled me into delusion, hardened me into a rock, and now I have melted away the moment. I am a human being. 1 second.
And what about you learning?
Learning began? I am moved like a human being and want you to act like a human being too.
What do you expect me to do?
Nothing. You are good for nothing. All yogis are of no use. Where is your knowledge? Your power? Your boast of revival of the dead?
To use those powers for the sake of a loose woman like her? Shit!
To a yogi? All are equal. When a person is dead, where is the prostitute? Oh, how sweet you are. Even death is in love with your charm and does not leave you. Oh, Vasanti!
Grief has benumbed his senses completely. What do? I know of the power of getting into someone else's body. I can transport my soul in her in exchange of her soul for mine. That would be a good test and quite a surprise to Chandelier. My Paras, my life, proceed over here. My Shakti, my power, proceed over there. Oh, my Paras, my life, proceed over there. My Shakti, my power, proceed over there. Oh!
Me. Chandelier. 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 What are you doing here?
Oh, see, Sriman, how wonderful!
Chandelier.
Yes, I am at your command, madam.
Ah! Don't touch me. You have touched a dead body, so first go take a bath.
My God, she talks of cleanliness.
Quickly take a bath and resume your studies.
What studies and what kind of a meditation with you?
You are completely flippant. You must resume your course of meditation.
What's happening?
As usual, you're caught up between several passions.
My charming girl, this sort of attitude does not suit you.
Who has put this ornament for me? She.
She discards these costly ornaments.
Shardelia, go get me my staff and japmala.
God forbid this sacrilege. Where is my master? Oh, save me from this hallucination. He seems to be dead. Oh, pity me. How strange to find that even the London also died. Oh, my master, my protector, what can I do without you?
You are a fool.
Eh?
The wise do not leap over a dead body.
Oh God, how can I exist now? I have lost both my spiritual guide and the beautiful lady.
Oh, where is my darling daughter? Here in the garden. Oh, here she is. And it seems she is much better. Vasanti? Vasanti? Here's your mother. How worried she was about you?
Oh, thank God. He has taken pity on me.
Come, my child.
Tell me, how are you?
Don't touch me, you old hag.
Oh God. It seems that the poison has done her great damage. It has taken her mind.
Mind is the seat of all desires. Therefore, the mind is very fickle. Woman, control yourself. Control your mind.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Lalika, rush to the doctor as quick as you can before she can get completely. Oh God, have pity on me.
How can God have pity on you? You who desire to distribute your daughter among the rich men of the city?
How dare you? Kindly shut your filthy mouth.
Do you deny that your daughter was all the 16 hours day? 64?
Oh God.
Yes, think of him and me too, and kindly do not disturb me in my meditations any further.
You are the mother of this lovely lady?
Yes, I am the unfortunate one. Can you not cure her of a disease?
How can I? I myself am even half mad, half by my master and half by this lady.
Oh, Ralika. Now you are the only one who can save us.
What's the matter? What happened?
Ralika, Vasanti, your mistress, my darling daughter, has gone bad.
What a strange sight. There is a yogi every day dead in that corner, and then the people in the morning is dead, and then Vasanti deep in contemplation. Well, let me see what I can do.
I've sent for the doctor.
Not necessarily. I am the doctor who can cure all hurries. Darling Vasanti. Darling, please don't be cross with me. I just went to the pub with some friends to have a little drink and salute your beauty and my love for you. And well,
Go to hell, you filthy liar! Wine, women, and songs are all you think of. You will ruin yourself completely.
darling, don't lay this fix on me. It's alright when we are alone. Now stand up, charming one, and give me a big hug.
Don't touch me, you dirty dog!
What is this? What happened to her?
It's a mental condition after the snake bit her.
She had a snake bite? That explains everything. But she did not relate if the reptile bit her.
That's exactly what happened, sir. But later on, she revived in this kind of mood and discarded all of her ornaments.
It appears some beastly ghost has taken possession of her body.
Then the sooner we drive him off, the better.
Vasanti,
I told you not to disturb me.
pray, tell me who you are.
Does one ever know oneself? What is to be known when everything is known? What remains to be known by the one who has known the unknown? One who does not know will never know what is known, what is unknown. Who am I? Who could I be? Who is who? So, search yourself.
In a public rambling talk, tell me what is there to be known?
Yes, yes. Tell me as well. What is there to be known?
She is possessed, obsessed, distressed, therefore mentally oppressed.
Here answering our doctor.
What's your name, Your Honor?
Banaspati?
Vanaspati means vegetables.
That is my name. Where is the patient?
Here she is.
Who said a snake bit her? If indeed she was bitten, she should be dead by now.
I agree it should be so, but here she is alive, very much alive.
Oh, doctor. I poor mother. Please examine her. It appears that there is something wrong with her brain.
With my brain, I could. Look at you. You disease degenerate old hag.
My God. I didn't know there were so many words in the language. Please let me feel your pulse, dear lady.
Look into your own heart. By giving wrong diagnosis and administering wrong medication, how many have you killed?
None. On the contrary, I revive those who are dead.
Yes, and kill those who are alive. I'm not taking your distance.
A good suggestion, especially in the state she's in. She requires to be watched. Please all, move aside. I will then prescribe the course of medicines to cure her ills. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Whenever there is some administration, mistakes will be made. But this time, it's not my fault. It's my boss who's guilty. He instructed him to take the soul of the wrong person. The world is full of women with loose morals, and they label themselves more or less with the same kind of names. And so I was instructed to pick this beautiful lady. What is this? She is not dead. Oh, I see. I know. The priest was tempted. And so he decided to put his soul into her body. Well, I don't begrudge him for doing that. Anyway, my duty is to return a soul to a body and let the future take care of itself. The only body that does not appear to have a soul is that of the priest. So, here goes.
Next one.
My master uttered these words. Now I too can follow his footsteps.
I am at a loss to differentiate which is hers and which is his.
Sir expert, you must have solved this problem somewhere or another.
This seems to be an act of God. It is beyond me to either understand or solve this. I forgo my fees and leave you all to your own devices.
Now we go on. You either like Madhurika or you like me. You can't have both of us.
Chandelier, what pranks are you playing here with those mates? They will lead you straight to hell. You miserable excuse for a student.
Imagine Vasanthi saying this.
Devi Vasanthi, you need not be jealous. As a matter of fact, I wanted you, but you started talking philosophy and not love.
Come here, sit down at once and recite your lessons right now.
Oh God, do I have a master or a mistress?
Excuse me, but I have time for education. It is inhuman, it is sinful, it is unnatural, and it is impossible.
Oh God, no, I'm losing my mind.
Today's section of meditation has been deeply interrupted. It is you who have brought all this trouble into my pupil. Why don't you shut up and carry on your romance with your lover in your own room?
We believe in life, in enjoyment. Why, don't mind if you come and join our hospitality. We can entertain you as well.
You want to join in the privacy of your own room? Why do you have to move around in the public garden?
Because we are public. Because where else can one go during the spring?
Don't you know that spring like youth lasts for a very short time?
And do you know, youth does not return, but spring returns every cycle. In spring, we make the best of life. We sing, we dance. Come on, let's dance. dream of happy things.
Okay. Author King Mahendra Vikrama Pallava. Cast in order of appearance: Nati and Madhurika Anahita Mantri. Manager and curtain holder Murtuza Sahir. Curtain holder number 2 Amit Mantri. Shandilya Deep Seth. Latika Gauri Kansara. Yamaduta Niranjan Adur. Mother Aparna Bhattacharya. Ramalika Swapnil Dalvi. Banaspati Aryan Shom. Attendant Anil Joseph. Vasanti Seema Shahane. And the priest Saumendu Bhattacharya. Tabla Aditya Date. On guitar Vikram Kumar. Props Sri Alathur. And lights and assistant director of this fantastic, hilarious play, Barkha Krishnani. And the director of this play, Dr. Farley Richmond. Niranjan Adur, I introduced you. Yes. Dr. Farley, amazing job. Amazing job. Who translated the play?
C.C. Mehta, who was a famous Gujarati comedian and wrote a lot of short novels about funny things like this in his community.
Fantastic. How did you find out about this play?
It started when he came to Michigan State, where I was teaching, and he said, I have a wonderful play I want you to read. And so I took it and thought it was just fabulous.
And this is the original 7th century Sanskrit play. Fantastic. The writing is... The writing is beautiful and hilarious, but the way you presented it and directed it is amazing. Amazing. Very, very, very well done. And to give Dr. Richmond a trophy, I'm going to invite on stage Sajal Mukherjee. Sajal has been very active on Hindi, Bengali and English stage. He is a part of Epic Actors Workshop and he has performed in South Asian Theatre Festival many, many times.